What's up everybody, it's Mark PPG from allaboutmybb.com, and today we're going to go over the most popular app on the BlackBerry OS. That would be BlackBerry Messenger. Now, BlackBerry Messenger is a very powerful communication tool, but not a lot of people take advantage of all the features of BlackBerry Messenger. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over as many features as we can possibly fit into our time frame and show you how to use them all. So the first thing when you get your new BlackBerry, when you click on BlackBerry Messenger, you'll be prompted to enter your name that you want to make appear to everybody. And what you'll have to do is assign that to yourself in your address book. That's the first step. Once you pass that step, you go into your profile. Sorry, we'll go out of here. I've got an old inactive Storm 9530 here just for the sake of the pin. So to get into your profile, what you do is you click on the profile. On a touch device, you can just click right on your profile. On a non-touch device, you go to view my profile. So what this brings up is a whole bunch of things, the first of which is the picture. This will be blank originally, so what you can do is you can click on your photo and then pick a photograph that you want to use. You can zoom in or out, so I'm going to zoom out. You can move the window a little bit around to the photograph, and then what you can do is crop and save. So what that does is it crops it, saves it, and makes that, this is the picture now that all your BBM contacts will see when they look on their contact list. Your display name, I've changed that to All About My BB. Your personal message, now this has turned into kind of like a Facebook, Twitter kind of a thing with people, where you type in what you're doing, and all your contacts can actually see what it is you're doing. So the other status we've got here is available, busy, a whole bunch of other ones here we've done. This is my son's old phone, so you can see his statuses that he used to use. The other thing here that we have an article on our website is show what I'm listening to. Now what this does is if you have any music on your device, while you're playing music on your device, it will actually show the title and artist of the track that you're listening to all your other contacts. Really cool and little neat part of the app. The other option is location. You can show your time zone and show your location. So you can see here that I'm in Canada and Eastern Standard Time. So once we finish all that, we save everything, and all my contacts will now be updated with all this information. It's not exactly instant, it does take a few minutes, but it will go through. Now again, this device is not active, so none of these things are going to go through. The reason I did that was because of the pin. I don't want to give out somebody's pin, so I'm keeping an inactive device so you don't get somebody's pin. So basically what we're going to do from there is, the only other thing I want to do with this device is add contact. So what we do is, if you're ever with somebody and you want to add them to your BBM and you don't have them yet, what you do is, I've got my torch here, so we go into BBM and we click on add contact, which is this, scan a barcode. So what we can do is, when you have the two devices together, you can select, one will select scan a barcode, and it says okay, so put the devices like this and you say start scanning. Now on the other device you click on the profile and you see here it says pin barcode show. So now this is going to show that is the barcode associated with this device. Now I'm going to hold my device over top of this device. It's going to use the camera, see the barcode, and it's actually going to put it into pending. And it's here on my list right now, waiting for pending. But because this device is inactive, we're not getting any communication here. So I'm going to put this old Storm away. And I'm going to use these two devices here. I've got my wife's 8520 here and my Storm 9800. So what we're going to do, you can see I've got a lot of contacts, 108 contacts on my list. So we've done the status, we've done the scan the barcode. Now what we're going to get into here is I'm going to find my wife. My wife is listed here. So I'm going to find my wife. There's my wife. Now everybody knows how to use messages. I'll say hi. You see it comes up right away on my wife's BB. There we go, hi. So here's the things that a lot of people don't really know what you can do. The first is you can send pictures by BBM. So on the torch we click here. These are all the different files that we can, all the different types of files that we can send via BBM. So you can see picture, voice notes, files, which can be anything, music, video, whatever. Location, for a GPS enabled BlackBerry, we can send location. You can send a BlackBerry contact or a BBM contact. Now they sound like they're the same, but they're actually not. A BlackBerry contact is somebody listed in your address book. BBM contact is just somebody strictly on your BBM contact list. So let's go through those all together. So what we're going to do first is picture. We're going to go into our camera, select picture from, this is my brother-in-law at a party that we were at. So what we're going to do is we're going to send this picture to Dina. We can put a little comment in there. I'm not really good at typing with my left hand, so I'm not going to do that. So now what you'll see is it's sending the picture, and there Dina receives the picture on her phone. Now she can click on that picture and look at it. She can also request a higher quality, because what it's doing is to save data. It's sending a smaller version, almost like a thumbnail of this photograph. But if it's something that you like, you can request a higher quality. Say, give me the good picture. I want the good picture. You see the whole thing is 1.76 megs. On my screen it pops up right away, requested a higher quality. Do you want to allow it or deny it? I'm going to say deny. And you see Dina gets the message that it's denied. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to do this from the actual camera app, from the media app. So if we go into media, we go into pictures, you can do this browsing through. You can see we can go into any of these folders that I've made. We can choose a picture, and from inside this app we can do send. Send to, these are all the different ways we can send a photograph. We can send it to Facebook or Social Scope or a BBM group, Twitter. I'm going to choose BBM contact, and I'm going to choose Dina. And again, it's exactly the same way, but it's from the media instead of from inside BBM. Go back into BBM now, and what we're going to do is we're going to choose the next one, a voice note. Very simple, straightforward. Voice recording. So what we can do is we click voice note and we say, hi, we're taping a video, we just wanted to let you know, stop, send. Automatically gets transferred over to the BlackBerry, you see here, and we can choose to play or save it. There you go, now you can play it, you can save it, you can do whatever you want with it, you can make it a ringtone if you want. And again, from inside the media folder, there is a voice notes app that you can also do. You can record voice notes from and send them from inside that app. So if we move on to the next one, you'll see file. Now, a lot of people don't know the types of files that you can send, but you can actually send music. If I go into my music folder has lots of songs. I keep lots of music on here. So what you can do is you can actually scan through your music and you can choose a song. We're going to take a small one. A nice Beastie Boys track there. I can click on it. And I can send this to Dina. You'll see that she gets a file request. Now the only issue with this is it has to be smaller than 6 meg. So if it's a video or a music file or whatever, it has to be smaller than 6 meg. If it's bigger than 6 meg, you'll get an error that says the file's too large. So again, you have the choice to accept it or decline it. We're going to say accept. It's going to prompt and say, where do you want me to save it? It's going to save it in the music folder, and we click save. And what's going to happen is this is going to do its thing. It's going to take quite a while, but we're on Wi-Fi with both phones, so we're going to carry on. Again, while we're doing this, we can go back in location. For GPS enabled phones, you can actually send your location. Now this is kind of a neat one. I've got Google Maps running in the background with the GPS lock just to speed this up, because sometimes it can take a little while when you're indoors. But what you do is you click on location. So here are the options on the newest version of BBM. I can send my location, I can send an address, I can find a business. So I'm going to say my location. Now hopefully with Google Maps running in the background here with the GPS lock, it's going to be able to find my location. Now if you don't have a GPS enabled phone, this will not become an option. The other issue is that some of the data packages actually limit data other than BBM and email. So you may, even if you have a GPS enabled phone, if you don't have the right data program, you may not be able to do this particular function. So what you're going to see is it's going to pull me up eventually here on a map, and it's going to allow me to send that map to my BBM contact. Probably not making it any better having the song transferring in the background. So I'm going to cancel that, see if I can speed things up a little bit here. Okay, so there, it's found my location. It's definitely not my address, but what we're going to do is we're going to attach it. I'm going to send it to Dina, and you see on Dina's it's now pulled up showing marked PPG with a little pin. That's where I am right now. I think that's the cell tower. That's not exactly where I'm located. It's not far, but it's not quite right. So you can see this can be handy if you're trying to tell somebody where you are, or you want to show them where you are. You can just quickly fire them off a location, and they'll be able to know exactly where you're standing. It works obviously a lot better when you're standing outside, not hidden in the basement trying to make a video, but you get the idea. So the last of these things here is the contacts. Now, BlackBerry Contact, what it's referring to is actually somebody in your address book, specifically in your address book. And what this will transfer is this will transfer all their information. It's going to transfer their phone numbers, their work addresses, their web, whatever you have in their address book entry. You'll see it opens my address book right away. And I'm going to select somebody. I'm going to select Action Sales. And you'll see now that Dina's phone is now vibrating saying, Mark sent you this. So this is a place where I buy some stuff for work. So you can view it. You can see there's the address and the phone numbers and an email address. And I can add it to Dina's address book if I choose to. I'm not going to do that. But so what that's done is that's transferred an entire entry from your address book across wirelessly into another phone, another BlackBerry. Now, the other option was a BBM contact. Now what this does is that just takes somebody right off of your BBM contact list. So you pick somebody out of your BBM contact list and you say, here, these are some of the contests that I've run into, that I've saved their pins. I'm going to send Dina BBM photo. And again, what you'll see is here, what it'll allow me to do is that was the pin for the phone that BlackBerry used for one of the contests, and I can do that. I can add, and what it'll do is it'll say, would you like to invite them to Messenger? You say yes, and then it sends a request out and tries to hook the two phones up. Okay, I think we've got everything that I needed to do. I did want to show you the music. Now I've got lots of music on my phone, as you can tell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say shuffle songs. I'm going to turn the volume down. We've got some Biggie playing there. Now what you'll see is on my status, it's now showing that I'm listening to track 18, which is, and as the tracks change, it changes my status. Again, it's not instant, but it does happen pretty quick. So there, now I'm listening to Shooting Star by LMFAO and Pitbull and David Rush. I really like this. I've had many conversations with people on BBM based on the music that I'm listening to. Kind of neat. I've got the recent updates here. If you look, sorry, let me just stop the music. I'm going to stop my music. And you see that my status will go back to whatever it was that I was set. There we go. So what I was going to show you now is recent updates. And what this does is this shows you all the people on your contact list that have changed their status by going into their profile. You see all these people. It shows you the time, and it'll tell you whether they changed their picture or they changed their status or whatever they write. And you'll see it's all listed in there. Now this is when you go into your options. This is the next thing that I'm going to put my wife's phone down for a few minutes, and we're going to go through here. So these are your options. It's basically saying sort chats by, most recent or alphabetic, which is just basically out here. It's going to put them in alphabetical order or in order of the way they've contacted you, so time-wise. So the latest message will be on the top, and then they'll all fill in after that. So go back into options. Contact list style is 2 lines or 1 line. If you do 1 line, you actually won't get these statuses listed because it'll remove them. You'll see all these same statuses that are in recent updates actually show on the 2nd line underneath everybody. If you go 1 line, that of course disappears. So go back into options again. Options. Okay, so show participant's name, that's inside the chat. That'll show your name and the person that you're chatting to. I don't think that's really required because their name actually shows up at the top and you know who you are. Chat styles, you've got bubbles, no borders and stripes. That's just the appearance of the actual window itself. This window here. Sorry, switching back and forth here. Combined sequential messages, that's just going to put, when you've got multiple messages from the same contact, it's going to put them all together and without a break in between, like a line break in between. Press enter key to send or insert line breaks. Basically when you're typing, if you hit enter, it's going to send the message, or it's actually just going to drop down another line if you switch this to insert line break. Save chat history. Those are your options on the device, on the media card, or never. I choose never because I use BBM so much that I wouldn't want it to even attempt to save all my conversations. Automatically accept voice notes. What this does is if somebody sends you a voice note, it will automatically download the voice note, and it won't play it, but it'll accept it right away instead of waiting for you to approve the transfer. Voice notes, when I sent the voice note, you'll notice that it started recording immediately. I said send voice note and it started recording right away. That's this setting. You can turn it off or turn it on. And then vibrate when receiving a ping. A ping is if somebody's ignoring you. My son has a tendency to do this to me when I don't answer him within 10 seconds of him sending me a message. You can ping a contact. What that does is it sends this little ping, and you can hear my wife's phone vibrating off in the background there. So basically that is for even if somebody has their BBM set up to just play a noise, when they're pinged, if you've got that check mark on, it will actually vibrate the phone as well as make the noise. So there's an article on allaboutmybb.com about the backup of BBM. You can do this remotely via an email address that's sent to your BlackBerry, or you can back it up to the phone itself. This is very handy if you happen to lose your device, or if you're switching devices and you don't want to use Device Manager, you don't have it installed on your computer. You can use this. Basically what you do is you hit backup, and then you have a choice of remotely or locally. Locally saves it to the phone. Remotely sends it off to a BlackBerry server. And what it will do is, if you switch devices, as soon as you get that email coming through to the new phone, you can actually restore your contact list from the BlackBerry server. Not quite as elaborate as BlackBerry Protect, but still very handy to have. I set this up on all my phones that I prepare for people. Recent updates. So when we go into all the statuses, when I went into recent updates, this list is limited to 25 based on that setting. You can turn it off if you want. I find it very entertaining to see what people are changing. So combine recent updates, it basically groups them all together. It doesn't separate them depending on the time. It basically shows you the same contact and how many different times they've changed their updates. Display music updates. Now this is kind of crazy for me because I play a lot of music. I'm usually out walking the dog for at least an hour a day. I can play 30 or 40 songs in that span of time, and what that'll do is that kind of floods people's updates. So I leave this unchecked because it will actually list every single song that I've listened to in the recent updates, which is a bit much for me. Miscellaneous settings, show chats and message application. I have this unchecked. I prefer my BBMs to just stay in BBM, but I've set this up for other people. Basically, this puts it into your messages folder on your home screen. It'll actually show BBMs in there. Show text messages from contacts linked with BlackBerry. What this does is it can actually let you put people who don't have a BlackBerry into BBM via their SMS, and it makes it like a BBM bubble, but straight through to SMS. Display security question on invitation. That's basically when you're requesting to add a contact, they will be prompted with a security question you can create, and they have to have the answer in order to add you. I keep that unchecked as well. Okay, I think we've covered almost everything. Multiple chats. What you can do is you can actually add people into a chat, invite others. And we can pick who we want to drag into a conversation. You can bring as many people as you want. You just click on them and hit OK. The other thing I'm going to touch on, I don't really like a whole lot of it because we do get a lot of it, is broadcast messages. People seem to be using these a lot these days. Basically what this is a message you can send out to multiple people. It's almost like a spam message is what I call it, because that seems to be what it is. All those fake RIM is going to turn off BBM if you don't forward this to all your contacts, all that nonsense that people are sending. It's not true. Don't forward it. But basically, if you wanted to get a message out to multiple people all at once, you could hit broadcast message. You check mark all the people that you want to send it to, and you type your message up there, and away it goes. And it comes as, you'll notice it's a purple message when it comes into your BBM window. It's not the normal text color, it's purple. That means somebody sent you a broadcast message. Trying to think of what else we want to go over. Groups. The last thing would be a group. The newest versions of BBM, and all of this that I'm showing you today is assuming that you're using at least BBM 5, bare minimum. Anything less than BBM 5, and a lot of these options aren't going to be there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new group. Groups are really kind of cool to have on your BlackBerry. You can make it a group of friends or a group of co-workers. You can use it whatever. I have one for some car friends, I have one for some BlackBerry friends, and I have one for my work. So you just create a group. You type the name. I'm going to put all about my BB, BlackBerry lovers. Auto text. If you haven't read it yet, go to the website allaboutmybb.com and read about auto text if you just saw how I did that. You can choose an icon, or a whole bunch to choose here. We'll choose the happy face. This is, you can allow other members to invite or only administrators. And you can set administrators once you pick a group of people, but this will allow people to basically add people to your group. So we're going to create this group. Now this is going to set it up with the BlackBerry servers. So what we've got here is I'm the only member at this point, but what I can do is in here you can see I can invite to group. So I'm going to invite somebody from my BBM contact. I'm going to pick my wife. Just got to find her. There she is. I think that's all I'm going to invite into this particular group right now. Send. So you can hear my wife's phone buzzing with a request. All about my BB. You say accept, and it creates this group on her phone. So now if we scroll down to the bottom, we'll see her group. The group has been created on her phone. What this allows you to do is messages are sent to every member of the group all at once, and you guys can have basically a group chat on your BlackBerries. You can send photographs to this. You can create calendar events that will actually be shared with everybody's BlackBerry. You can create lists. And one thing that I did want to go over is this is some groups do get a little carried away with talking, and sometimes when people are in different time zones, some people can still be at work and some people cannot be at work. So there is a way when you go into view group details. Here are your options. So there's a group barcode which allows again to scan a barcode. This is the group barcode. Now another person with a BlackBerry can scan this barcode and be added to the group that way rather than having to be invited. So if you're standing around with somebody. Here, chat history, we turn it off. You can save the photographs, or you can choose not to save the photographs. And then you can choose to have these events put into your messages folder on your phone. We're going to say no activities, and we're going to say okay. Now here, when the group gets a little chatty and you're still at work and you don't want your phone beeping, beeping, beeping all the time, you can actually turn off the notifications for a group. So I'm going to say turn off all notifications for this group. So now no matter what happens in this group, as long as I don't want to hear it, it's not going to bother me. We turned off the notifications. These guys can talk all day long. It's no big deal. It's not going to interrupt me while I'm not participating, so to speak. Okay, I think we've covered just about everything. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hopefully you've learned a little bit something about BBM and how to make it a little more fun, how to get a little more out of it. Actually, there's one more thing I was going to show you. There is an option in here to link with a contact. So if we pick somebody, so I want to link this guy with somebody in my address book. So I'm going to scroll down, find Jose. I know he's in here somewhere. There he is. I'm going to link my BBM contact with an address book contact. And the reason I'm going to show you that is what it allows me to do is, let's say I'm chatting with Jose back and forth, blah, 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 and I'm chatting, and it's just getting a little bit carried away and we're not seeming to be on the same page. What you can do directly from this window is hit the call button when they're linked to somebody in your address book. Basically what it's saying is, I know Jose and I know he's in your address book and we can call him right away, rather than having to exit out of BBM and go to your address book and find Jose and then call him from inside there. We can do this directly from BBM because the two are linked. We can place a call directly to Jose. Anyways, I think that's it. Hope you've enjoyed this, and keep an eye out on allaboutmybb.com for new articles. Thanks a lot.